Hey guys, your holistic coach here. I help you be whole. Okay, in the background, you probably hear my air conditioner go on and off, but that's fine. This one is about work life balance, part two, the second job. Okay, or more. So I had just started my second job. It's only on the weekends, and I've never worked a second job ever in my lifetime, ever. And partly because, um, kids and kids, lifestyle, all that stuff did not, condone a second job. Okay. So I started this job at that time. It was day two, day three, and workplace chatter, getting to know you, and so forth. Okay. So I'm talking to the people, a lot of them had second jobs. So, or that was their second job. So they had a full time first job, and then they did that as part time money, whatever have you. So then I'm saying to myself at that time, wow, how exhausted are you having a full time job and then coming here? Now, mind you, it's in the food department, so you're on your feet all day and so forth. And I'm like, and then coming here, working all day or all night, however long it is, for your second job. Whether the second job is a full time, part time, doesn't matter. So I'm like, wow. And then it's a running theme that most people have, not most people, but some people have second jobs. And I'm like, wow, thinking about society and, the times that we live in and so forth. And I'm saying to myself, it's sad that people feel like they have to have a second job. It's sad that people, you know, have a second job and still can't make ends meet. So I was talking to this guy today, and he was like, this is that job there was his full-time job, but he had a part-time job elsewhere. And he said, I'll work overtime if I feel like I need to make extra money. So you telling me that that one full-time job and the part-time job, you work and you on your feet all day, you're exhausted when you come home, you're tired, the whole 9 yards, and you still can't make ends meet, and you still got to work overtime at one or both of those jobs to make ends meet. Something is wrong with this picture. Something is horribly wrong with this picture. There's a few things going on here. One is that these jobs don't pay enough for people to survive. They just don't. We know that with the whole $15 raise and all that stuff like that, but they don't pay enough people to survive. That's one. Two, people live above their means. I'm not saying that's happening with this guy's situation, but people live way above their means, and that's a problem. People need to live below their means so they can have the overflow and do other things with, or the overflow is for when life happens and they need that extra money. Life happens, you having a child unexpectedly, somebody is sick, layoff, job loss, someone dies, the whole 9 yards, how life happens. Okay. Also, is, we have to get our education and or experience up. We have to. There is no way you have a full-time and a part-time job and you still can't make ends meet. Bad enough you have a part-time job, which is technically what this video is about, just having a part-time job. But then you have a full-time job, a part-time job, and you still can't make ends meet. You still have to work overtime for extra money. Now, we're not talking about I need extra vacation money or whatever have you. But even then, working a full-time job is a lot of work. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're in the mailroom. I don't care if you sweep floors. I don't care if you're in a corporate office. It doesn't matter. A full-time 8-hour shift or more is a lot of effort. Even if you're single, no kids, no nothing. But then you tack on bills and kids and spouse and, traveling and all these different things. It makes that day just seem longer and you're more exhausted. Then you add in a part-time job that you have to go to, whether it's on the weekends like me, or it's a couple of days out the week, that and weekends, whatever the configuration is, you add that in on there. Okay. Then you are extremely exhausted. Whatever extra energy you had from the full-time job has now been given to the part-time job. So you have no extra energy for your family. You didn't have energy to eat. You had no energy. Okay, fine. But then, after you take all this money from here and all this money from there and you pull it together, you still can't pay your bills properly. You still can't afford what you want to afford. That's a problem. That's a societal, I guess that's a word, problem. And it's sad. It's sad. Sometimes people have two full-time jobs that they work per day. How they do that, I don't know. That is the most difficult thing in the world. That's when you just giving up your whole life, you know. And I'm like, it's sad that we have to work overtime and extra time and full-time jobs and part-time jobs and all these different things just to make ends meet. And you are really taken away from your health, your time, your family, and all that stuff. Now, part-time job, other jobs, whatever have you, if you have to, like I said in the other video, if you have to, save it for car, house, whatever have you, that's different. If you have to pay off debt or whatever have you, of course, that's different. But as just regular four walls that you're trying to take care of, and you have to work a full-time and a part-time just to take care of the regular four walls, forget the extra stuff. Forget if you need new tires. Forget if, something major happened in your life. Just the regular, regular lifestyle you can't afford with the full-time and the part-time. There's something has to change. Something absolutely has to change. And I see them people out there, I'm exhausted. And partly because of my commute, plus my daughter and all these different things. But I see the people that I was talking about, working with, they are exhausted. And it's midday. And this is the weekend, because that's the only time I see them is on the weekend. So it's midday and they are exhausted already. And yet they still have somewhere else to go after this 8-hour shift. That's crazy. That is crazy. I'm begging for my bed after the 8-hour shift. But there's something that needs to be done. With all that being said, is we got to do better as a people, not black and brown, just people, period. Because that shouldn't be a way of life. That shouldn't be the what we should do, is have a full-time and a part-time. And that's just what we do. Either we have to get our education up or experience up, or we need to lower our lifestyle, live a little cheaper, until we can get to where we want to be. Something has to happen because we're working ourselves to death. And that type of work on a regular basis just to make ends meet, not with all the extra that I want a vacation or whatever have you, just to make ends meet, is shortening our lifespan. Is creating health problems or manifesting health problems. It is, ruining our relationships, ruining our mental health and wellness. Yeah, we can't do that we can't. We need to figure something else out, because now mind you, this is all the colors across the board. This is not just one type and one person and one race and one sex and one whatever have you, or this industry versus that industry or whatever have you. This is all across the board. And you start talking to people, they have a full-time job and some sort of part-time job. Now, if the part-time job is your own business, side hustle, something like that, that's different. That's something you love, something you want, something you want to invest in. But if it's, again, to make those four walls, complete, it's too much. So, yeah, there is no work-life balance when it comes to a full-time and a part-time. There is none. There's no way you can balance that out. There's no way you can still do that and be present for your children. Do that and be present for yourself. Mental health is important. And you will start to go crazy because you are sleep deprived. And being sleep deprived brings on hallucinations. So, yeah. Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there and say, you either have to up your education and your experience. I don't care if you're 45, 80. Do internships, whatever it takes to get up your experience to make your money better. You have to, because working yourself to death is not it. And that's what people are doing, is working themselves to death. And they having heart attacks earlier. They're having strokes. You're 30 years old having strokes. So you're having heart attacks, you're having strokes, you're having hair loss and incontinence and erectile dysfunction, all these different things because you're working yourself to death. So this is my little spiel. I am your holistic coach. I hope you be whole. See you next time.